Upgrading your buildings in the Anno games is absolutely essential. And yes, technically, you could play the game without that, but that's basically like ordering food without spices or driving a car without any windows. You can do it, but that's not really the experience you were looking for. And in the Anno games, that means you would be stuck on tier 1 forever, and let's be honest here, who wants that? So upgrading your buildings are important, so important even that this is a two-part video. In the first part, which you are watching right now, we want to talk about logistics, right? About streets and warehouses. And then in the second part, you guessed it, we will talk about upgrading your homes so that you get the best out of the people living in your city and what you have to look out for. Now, with that said, let's have a look at the logistics. And the first thing I really want to talk about is roads. I mean, they are the beating heart of your city, and without roads, nothing really works here. People cannot go from A to B. And when you were starting out, you were starting with the dirt roads. They are doing basically nothing, right? They are just connecting buildings from A to B, and they cost money to build them once. But the moment you are researching a little bit, you can actually unlock the paved roads. And it's a bit weird. As you can see here, you can get the paved roads after just 2 research, right? It's super easy to get, but in reality, you will not use it before you are reaching tier 3 because you need concrete to actually build the paved roads, right? Without concrete, no paved roads. And yeah, this doesn't unlock till tier 3. So it's a bit weird that it gives it you that early, but whatever. So now you are having the paved roads and you are starting to upgrade your dirt roads into paved roads. But be careful. This can go horribly wrong very quickly. And the reason for that is that paved roads are now costing maintenance. You can see it right here. Per 10 tiles, you will pay a maintenance of 1.2 of your denarii. And when you can see that right here in my balance right now, you see infrastructure is 659. So that's how much I'm paying right now for my roads. And that's quite a bit. So just building paved roads everywhere is not necessarily a great idea if you are still trying to get your money together. Now, with that said, why would you even build paved roads, besides of them looking not as shabby as the dirt roads, right? Well, the answer is already in the text that allows for faster transports of goods, thus extending the reach of buildings. So this is also a little bit misleading. I have been doing some tests, and I've been trying to figuring out if there really is a transport speed difference, as you might be able to interpret this for your, well, transport people. The answer is I haven't seen any. Like, I've been testing for quite a bit to see if there's really difference for a building to run from A to B, and there was no difference to be found. So I assume it's really just the range of the buildings, and they're quite a lot. You can see here I have already prepared something to test the roads, and when I'm clicking on this building, you can see here that this is how long the reach of the building is when you are just using a dirt road, right? And that's the range on the paved road. That's quite a bit, isn't it? So for a lot of buildings, this will at least increase their range by 25, if not up to 50%. It changes a little bit depending on how big the reach of the building already is. But that leads us, of course, to the last road, the Marple Road. As you can see here, the Marple Road is quite expensive. That thing already costs 2.4 denarii on 10 tiles. But if you're coming from the Anno 1800 series, you know already that the tier 3 streets are increasing the range of your buildings massively. So You would say, yeah, it better does, because look how far we have to research to even get there. Well, I have some bad news for you, because it does absolutely nothing. No, I'm not joking. Let me upgrade this very quickly. So you have now seen I've upgraded the streets, and it has the same length as the other. You can see right here, there is no increase whatsoever. I don't know if that is a bug, if that is something they like have forgotten to add, or if this is wanted by the devs. But unfortunately, yeah, it's the same range, so you're not getting a range increase at all. The only thing you are getting is you are getting a prestige bonus through ornaments. So basically, the marble roads do count as ornaments slash give you extra prestige. But I will be honest, if that is really worth the money, especially when it comes to the maintenance, I am not so sure about it. This is why I don't use marble roads right now. I don't really need prestige, and they are unfortunately doing nothing else. So, yeah, if you need desperately prestige, sure, you can do the marble rounds, but I will be honest, just build some ornaments, and I think you would be better off than those roads. They are too expensive to manufacture, too much to research. In my opinion, I'm sorry, they are not really worth it. Now, with that said, let's have also a very quick look at warehouses. Now, you can upgrade your warehouses, and I see a lot of people doing it immediately, right? Because, well, you can have more people coming in and dropping off or taking away their wares, right? Keep in mind, for all the new players, more warehouses do not increase the amount of resources you can stack on your island. That's something you have to research slash build some special buildings for. This has nothing to do with the warehouses. I see some people building more and more warehouses because they hope they are getting more resource slots. That's not happening. The only thing you are basically doing is just having more resources or more warehouses nearby and more ramps people can utilize to take their wares or drop off their wares. But let's talk about that very quickly. So I see a lot of people immediately when they have the possibility to upgrade their warehouses. I do not recommend that, because let's take this warehouse here. This warehouse doesn't really do much. You see, there is a lot of pauses in between, and yes, sometimes there's more to do, but that doesn't really do much. So upgrading this would increase the maintenance cost by 12, and I would also need more people. You can see that right here. So I wouldn't really recommend upgrading that, because you have quite a bit of warehouses around your city, and unfortunately that would mean that you would also spend not just a lot of money, but more importantly, you would spend quite a bit of Libertas workforce for warehouses where you don't need it. Like, you could even argue that this warehouse I upgraded here, even though it is in the heart of my industry, was not necessarily worth it, right? You could argue that by just having maybe in the warehouse nearby. And really check your warehouses if they need to be upgraded or if they can still manage. Like, this warehouse here in particular is sometimes having a queue slot, as you can see here, but it is so short that I completely just said, okay, you know what? This is not worth upgrading, so let's not do that, right? So before you are upgrading your warehouses just like that, check if it is worth it, and if you want to actually add double the amount of maintenance and double the amount of the Libertas workforce, right? Because most of the time, you don't have to do that. Yes, I know this is only really important for the beginning when you are short on workforce and short on money, and later on it's not such a big deal. But it is still something to keep in mind. But the big difference is definitely coming from the streets. So paved roads, they're good. Definitely recommend them if you have the money. and I do not recommend the Marble Roads right now. But with that said, I will see you again for part 2 of this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Also share it with others if you think it could be useful to them. And also if you want to see more Anno videos and strategy games, which we are focusing on here on the channel, you should definitely subscribe if you want to, of course. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Bye-bye.